What happens when a mega sport event comes to town? Think of the Olympics or Super Bowl. The host city will spend millions of public tax dollars planning and delivering the event. And for a brief moment, the event will showcase the finest displays of athleticism and teamwork and the current limits of the human body's potential. But they're brief. And when they're over, what does the city have to show for their millions of public dollars spent? In the lead up to these events, the organizers and the city officials will develop a rhetoric for what are called the legacies, the impacts and the outcomes of the event. They'll promise that thousands of kids will learn to swim in that new pool, that the local businesses will benefit from an improved tourism economy, and that the whole city will come together with a renewed sense of city pride. But those promises are questionable at best and deceptive at worst, because in every single Olympic city since 1956, one or more of the following negative legacies have occurred: increased unemployment, increased homelessness, environmental degradation at the event site, social exclusion and marginalization of other social groups, and unused or underused facilities. So why? Why does the reality not match the rhetoric? Since the 1980s, researchers have been investigating these legacies, but they've yet to crack the case. And this gap, as you can see with Rio, still exists. So my research has taken a different approach. Instead of focusing on the legacies themselves, I focused on the people who are making those promises. Over the last 2 years, I followed the organizers and the event politicians working on Toronto Pan Am 2015 Games. I did interviews and an extensive document analysis to understand how these folks conceptualized of legacy and what their goals are in relation to these. In my findings, there is not one instance in the writing or the interviews of the organizers associating the term legacy with any of those negative outcomes. To be sure, they know they exist, but they're either unwilling or unable to associate that with their legacy rhetoric. And so I'm developing a theory that organizers work within a means-end rationale, where in the end is a fully funded and publicly supported event in their city. And the means is a rhetoric that will overemphasize the positive and dismiss or completely ignore the negative legacies in a form of organized cognitive dissonance. And so my thesis is this: the rhetoric is nothing more than a hyped-up marketing tool. It's alternative facts. And the reality, which is a mixed bag of some positive but overwhelmingly negative legacy, is the price we pay for not holding them accountable to their promise.